When I upload this to YouTube, it wants to do this. It wants to flip-flop all over.
Okay.
So what I do with this video is I give it to YouTube, and then I take it back from my website, so it's easy for you guys to watch.
Okay.
So it's all your stuff is in one place. Cool. Now, you can shoot that red dot pretty much anywhere in here, but I want you to kind of stay within the confines of the lot. No red barn, no cars.
Right.
But again, the yellow...
Temp humidity. What am I doing with this?
So the humidity, I want you to go ahead and turn it back on.
Oh,
There's a button right down here.
Yeah.
Okay. That actually measures ambient temperature as well. So you have humidity at the top, temperature at the bottom.
Okay.
Now there's a whole other science that goes into humidity with ghost hunting that I don't get into. It gets way too far into my field for people that have never done this. So you're literally just watching temperature. It's not super active. You can almost pocket it and just use your gun all night long. When we need to use it, then you can pull it out and say, let's see what we got.
Okay.
Now, my group last night, she had that thing running all night last night, which was great because she was like, oh, the ambient temperature was this, but the surface temperature was that. Like, she was really into it.
Okay.
So it actually worked out really well. Trying to think what else. Oh, I want to show you guys what
Can I change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit?
Please.
How do I do that? Mode?
Mode.
Okay.
Correct. So somebody must have hit a button.
Now I got it.
All right, so a few weeks ago in the next location that we're going to, I caught this. So let me bring it up here and kind of gives you a good gist of what you're looking for. It's probably one of the best pieces of evidence that I've caught with this. So what you're looking at is a wall. See the orange wall and a bunch of people? So you're going to see two living people walking by. They're the same temperature as that person. We're going to fast forward by 10, 15 seconds. You're going to see two dead people going the opposite way.
Huh.
Do you see what I'm talking about? They're obviously... that's why I say...
you're looking for.
I want you to also notice that there was always a person in view. Somebody's skin was always in view.
Yeah, so
you gotta have that
had
variance. You gotta see the difference. Yeah.
Oh, stop.
So you gotta make sure that's pointing to get contrast.
So nice, slow movements with that.
Okay.
Now, when there's a lull in our... Like, we're going to take, like, a walk up 4 blocks because I take it to legitimate places. You don't have to go slow there. Keep up with us.
Okay.
I know we have part of our party that's going to be a little slower. I'm going to kind of keep the pace.
Okay.
And I might even kind of, because the way the speed's going to be, I might even rush us through some of this to make sure we're hitting all locations.
Yeah.
So I'm okay to accommodate however we need to go. We're actually making pretty good time. Let me bounce around the rest of this group.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, make a tour.
What do you want to start with?
Through volume.
Okay, ladies. So,
keep letting me know like what your temps are.
Yeah,
so I
I'm
know.
like 66. I mean, it ain't varying very much.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so
67.
go ahead and shine your laser out.
68.
I can kind of see it now.
So that way, in case she misses
69.
we actually have it, and it's going to come through pretty quickly. So go ahead and keep looking at me. You see that purple in your eye, how it flashes back at you?
Stand back.
That's, I want to see my hand is brighter. That's what's going to come through. That's why I want her to take pictures. Because our human eyes, we're not that quick. We might
Real quick, 66.
I need pictures.
No, well, I have to be lower than you for it to be from one.
I mean, it's a pretty big drop, but I mean, who knows what's behind it.
So my phone should make this thing go off every 2 seconds because it's going to give it a pulse. You see how close my phone has to be to give it a little bit of a jolt? So if this thing starts going orange and red, it's obviously coming from something. So what I do is, because this isn't recording anything, I kind of have to provide an audio of where you guys are at last night. And that's what I do.
You can't put your thermometer on the
I'm not gonna do the barn. You see me?
Mm-hmm.
How do I look?
Sexy.
Is there anything walking in front of me?
No.
What are you seeing? Anything?
Keep walking.
She knows all the different areas. She's looking at the photos. So she'll get back to anybody next week. She's this one too. And I'm going back into medication. Oh my god. So, crazy right there. ghost hunting right close. And now I got invited to go
67 degrees out here.
the national building. So that's from yeah. So I don't know about. I mean, again, from what I know, that's the problem because they go all over South Carolina. So it's kind of like I can't jeopardize my income. You know, but again, it's something local.
There's nothing in front of me.
An hour or two. Yeah.
I'm supposed to have someone in the front.
These days that they do, like I don't believe it. This nighttime stuff, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. My ghost hunting stuff is during the daytime. Like, it don't matter. Ghosts don't care. They don't care what time of month it is. I mean, they do care where time it is. But that's obviously, you know, going to affect a lot of things. But as far as yeah, it's blue. They are emotional support animals, which means they go with me.
It's really cold up there.
So he's not here tonight because if I'm this close to y'all, he's barking. But if I step back and you guys are just chatting with me, he's in perfect support.
Oh, you think?
We can record videos that we
I don't think it is.
Actually, I have very odd dachshunds.
I don't know if
I
it
have
does.
a piebald dapple.
Who cares? I didn't say nothing bad.
It's like a chocolate
Think
chip
it's
cookie
in.
with milk at the bottom. And then I
Yeah,
have
they did some kind of weird.
wire hair chocolate.
I thought maybe he said like, oh, we've had too much to drink.
He did say that.
She
Oh,
has
did
a
he?
silver head.
I didn't hear. I
She's
heard
chocolate
it.
tanned wire hair. So she has a little beard, but she's chocolate and tan at the bottom.
It's over here. Are you watching these people? Get these people in the front. Like, have them in it as we walk over.
But she wants it non-tan, so I can have all of the ones right around the house. But the birds are in my office, and I need them chirping when I write. Yeah. She's like, I don't know how you do that. Just walking. You can hear me on my podcast. It's funny. It's hysterical because when I get excited about things, they get excited too. It's funny. I'm like, sorry about Claudia. So, at the end of this, you guys will have my card, and you'll also get a link to my website tomorrow, which has everything. So at the top of your data page is the plan, and it's also the tools. I don't hide anything, and you can go through all of October's investigations because it's all in one. So, and that way you guys can see I don't hide anything. Alright, so let me check on the spirit box, and we're gonna probably move on because again, this is just a practice area. We're actually gonna go that way, so if you guys are perfect. Alright, anything out of that spirit box?
No. Zach, come here. You over there going rogue.
Which makes perfect sense.
I said you over there going rogue.
They carry wagons. Carriages.
I said you're over there going rogue. I'm like, stay with me.
I'm going rogue.
I was like, he was the thermometer. I'm like, what is wrong with him?
What do you mean? I want to be able. I want to interact. Dude, they have this shit one. Like they just stand there. Like they just listen. Like I don't want that. I want to be able. Oh shit. You have a cool one. That's pretty cool. Like just stay still. I want to like.
Well, what's that?
What is it? Oh shit. Dream scream.
I'm just red all over right now. It's weird.
What is that?
Huh?
What do you got? 67.
We're the Ghostbusters.
You guys ready to learn some real history?
Yeah.
Alright. Let's head up this way. I gotta do something about that battery pack. It's rattling around in there. Rattling between.
Oh, the horses just started moving.
Yeah. We're gonna head up this way, Ron. Watch your step, everybody. There's twigs up there.
Oh, we need to get them to bring the duty people out.
The what?
The duty people.
Oh, did I step?
I don't know. That was food right there. Duty calls. Is that what they call?
Yeah. See the moon? Here's behind this tree. Check it out.
There's a full moon, everybody.
Yep.
Just pouring down on us.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
for everybody to climb in here, and we'll kind of give you the skinny on what's happening in this other beautiful spot that I take you. So again, I don't take you to all the pretty spots. This is ghost hunting. It's not always pretty. So this particular parking lot is actually very important to Charleston. So this is home to Charles and Eliza Pinckney. So you guys have seen the name Pinckney all over town, I'm sure. I'm sorry, there's no locals in this group, right?
No.
Okay, so I can lie to you guys all night.
Yeah, 'cause I haven't seen that name.
It's a street name.
Is it?
Pinckney Street, that's where you met me.
Who is that?
So Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles, and they had a nephew named Charles, and they were signers of our Constitution. I hate politics, and it's 2020. Let's move on. Eliza married Charles at a very young age. She stayed here because her dad was sick over in England and wanted all his kids home. She didn't want to go, so she got married. All right, this is a parking lot. Let's move you guys in just a little bit further because that's the only way in and out. So anyway, they got married. Dad gets better. He starts sending her gifts over from England. Now, the way this whole land was set up was the mansion was in the front, carriage house over on the right. Eliza's garden was lined up with that first tree, and we're standing where the slave quarters would have been. So one of those plants that Dad sends over was the plant indigo. You've also seen that word around town, I'm sure, a few times. It's very important to us because it had a very deep history already in Charleston with the Gullah culture, which means the slaves brought it over from Africa. They knew how to culture indigo. What the hell is indigo? It makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. Some of us are probably wearing it today. So we still use it today. Very important. So anyway, it started being profitable right here because Eliza turned it into a cash crop after the rice plantations went downhill. Charleston was in a lot of trouble. Indigo saved us because she used Daddy's connections to start selling it overseas, which makes her a businesswoman in the 1700s. Yeah, I know, right?
Go, girl.
Crazy stuff about Miss Eliza. So, again, that's that blue that's just shining in my face. I love it.
I know,
So,
isn't it beautiful?
So, a couple weird things about Eliza. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. So, yeah, way to go, Chuck. You screwed that one up. She goes by her maiden name, Eliza Blank Pinckney. The first wife also goes by Eliza Blank Pinckney. So, whatever maiden name, not middle name, maiden name comes up, a lot of people mistake those two. See what you guys can get. They had 4 kids. I already told you one of them was named Charles. They only had one daughter. Find out what the daughter's name was. You can ask anything you want to about Eliza's death, including where she's buried, how old she was, what she died from. Trying to think what else. Oh, who else was, or who was the president that was a pallbearer at her funeral?
Oh.
Yeah, she actually had a U.S. president at her funeral, carrying her to her grave.
All right.
How interesting is that? So, I'm trying to think. You can also ask what happened to the mansion. Again, no yes or no questions. Try to stay. I mean, I gave you a ton of data. So I did want to play for you guys that EVP I caught a few weeks ago, and it happened here, and that's why it makes it so fun to play, because now you have a direct relevance. I'm going to go around the room here so you guys can all hear it. Baked beans breakfast. Sorry, it's skipping a little bit because the other app is running. But it says baked beans breakfast, clear as day. So here's what happened. The reverse spirit box, that one you guys are holding said, "I'll fix you, baked beans breakfast," and then the word list that I showed you gave me the word tea, all within 2.5 minutes of each other. "I'll fix you, baked beans breakfast," and tea is a thing over in the UK. That is a breakfast for them. The next couple of nights, the word breakfast kept popping up every time I was here. So if that tells you how I have to look at this data in the morning as a collective, that's how I have to look at it. Very interesting that came up that way. I love it. It's probably the strongest thing I ever got out of that reverse spirit box. The one you guys heard that was gibberish, that's why I use it. So, let's see what we're going on here. So you guys are definitely going to take your laps like you were before. Keep taking temperatures. Keep your laser within the confines of the wall. No cars.
Yeah.
You guys are going to find a hot spot, and I'm going to go in the opposite direction so I'm not interfering with my spirit box session. The 3 of you already know what's going on. What's going on with your EMF?
Nothing yet. Nothing right here. We will.
Okay.
I'll say that. As soon as I say that.
Now, normally, whenever I
Could
bring
be
up
his phone.
Eliza, it starts
Look
going
at
into
that.
the red.
Look at that.
garden ran this way towards the right. Exactly, ran this way, lined up with that tree. So there's a light on the back of the Five Church restaurant over there. There's a second light that sometimes is on. It's not on right now, but when it's blinking, it normally goes in sync with your EMF. It's kind of my barometer of how much activity we're going to find. So right now that it's not on, I have no idea what's going to happen. So again, you guys know what you're doing with yours. Find answers.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We just wander around until we.
Yep. Find your hot spot. I'm going to go in the opposite direction so we don't interfere. And then they're also going to kind of wander around themselves. So, I know, I just said you guys go wander. Resource.
No. Except you. You set yourself up for that one.
How does it come in here?
Well, I need to keep somebody in my picture, though, is what he said.
All right.
Like, shoot temperatures on the ground and stuff.
68 down there.
Okay.
Two on the ground. 63. Any difference? You got them in your shot? 64.
You guys want the other spirit box to listen in on that stuff too? You want to try it?
I'm not walking fast. I'm just trying to.
So, just to show you, what word is that? What is she playing? Indigo. What color is indigo? So, who's a little more tech savvy than you?
White. The color of the ghost. White. 66. Close, yeah. You got them? Alright, hold on then. 65. Yeah.
Not, but it does come up with very relevant answers. So, a little button right here at the top.
65 over there.
Just going to tap it until it goes up, and then you tap it another way to turn it down. Don't worry about the on-off. But it's a Velcro on there. It's not the bottom.
If we ever see anything on here, can we play it back? Like now?
No, I mean, you won't keep recording.
Yeah.
You keep recording.
I bet it was. Of course, I knew that was. What's that? 64. You're getting more of that. 68 on that.
Get in front of me. Get in front of me so I can walk that way.
See, he has a little Pac-Man thing that says Ghost Lives Matter on his bag. You think he believes this stuff? creative writer?
We're just part of his book.
Hmm?
We're just part of his book.
How many slaves do you have?
What are you getting over there on front of them?
In front of them? 66.
I got the like 77, but
That's because you're right on that. I think it's picking them up more. Because if you get the
yeah, but still, I mean,
them, it's picking up whatever is right in the crosshairs. So like the ground is a lot less. What I'm trying to do is just point at something straight and see if something walks in front of it. You know, if I got like 69 on this wall, and it like plummets, I mean something walked in front of it.
What games did your children like to play?
that whole thing, look, the whole thing is red except in the middle it's blue.
I think it's probably metal.
But the whole, is it metal?
65.
Is it metal?
64.
It's metal.
Yeah,
It's metal. I don't know.
yeah, she's just trying to
I was
figure
just
out
trying to-
why stuff is different colors.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
Probably something metal.
So you have
Yeah.
a ton of different material in here. The mud and the gravel is going to show blue to red all the time because gravel's going to hold more heat than mud.
Right.
Mud's always going to be cooler. So that's why you have the blue spots on the ground. With garbage areas like this,
Whatever
that's
that
where
is.
this dumpster used to be. So I can
Oh.
only imagine half the shit
Probably
that used to
some-
come over
yeah.
here.
It's like 62.
Yeah,
it's
big old
cold.
blue spot. That's what I was wondering. I was like, what is this?
You can also tell, like if I was a car thief, that would be my favorite tool because now I can see how long the cars have been here.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, they're hot, cold, yeah.
Because you'll be able to see the heat on the ground from the undercarriage. So it'll
sense.
project heat downwards. Obviously your windows are going to be much colder. And also I want you to keep in mind, that cannot see through glass. It looks at glass as an object. Remember, it doesn't see in 3D. So we're going to do a test later on the last building. But I'm going to be looking for the glass panes to turn colder, not that I can see through the glass.
Okay.
So I'll show you guys when we get there. I did get the word blue almost right away when I walked away from you guys, from the whole group. Indigo's blue.
Right.
So that's a direct relation. I'm going to see, I did put out the other spirit box to the three ladies to give them some extra toys since they're so
Okay.
excited.
And it's 68 degrees out here is the temperature. Man, I'm not getting any weird. I mean, it's all. I mean, it's 65 on that wall. What do you get?
68.
Yeah, that's not a big difference. It's weird that this used to be somebody's house. Is what he's saying. Like that surprised
I
me.
think that would have been a famous place like that, but it was...
And why did it get demolished? With their preservation. I'm gonna ask.
Go the darker blue. The darker blue.
What's that?
I've never gotten, I don't know, I've never gotten the dark blue. Like
Where are
that
you
before.
looking at? Is that a can?
There you go, right there, the can. Dang it, it's a can.
Nice try. Goes to the can.
Can you tell me what kind of moon we have tonight? I heard moon. What kind of moon do we have? Above. Where? I didn't ask where it was. What kind is the moon? It's a certain type of moon. What kind of moon do we have?
Something was saying. Something with her.
Still the back that much?
Mm.
Something
It's kind of a stretch.
with the body you make.
Well, I got the word size that popped up. I asked what kind and it said size. Watch those red dots. She's going all over the place. Sorry.
It's like,
The part on is going off.
Yeah, but she a whole spot, a whole blurb.
It was more like a solstice. Even then, it was a pink color. So it wasn't. Yeah.
That was my hand.
that must be that truck, right? That's why it's blue right there.
Probably.
All right, let's gather everybody up. Let's see what Team Spirit Box over here heard. Did you guys see anything weird?
Didn't say anything.
Nothing out of whack? So I want you to also keep in mind, I blow that up on my TV in the morning so I can watch every little detail. So you might miss some stuff, but I'll catch it in the morning. What did we get?
We didn't hear anything specific. They said odd couple once, but I don't think that was related to anything.
Could be.
Could be one of us. I mean,
It could be
who's the odd couple?
Yeah, the odd couple is the one that left.
Oh!
We can take that too. So I asked what happened to the house. It blew up is the term that I got. So what'll happen on your audio tomorrow morning, I don't usually go through this because I'm giving you audio markers. I'll say rewind by 5 seconds and what I think I heard in real time. So I think you guys are all smiling at me. It's hysterical. I can't stop staring at their masks. But I did ask, and also I didn't put this in mind. I did get the word blue, and I kind of tied that to indigo right away, just out of habit. But we also have a blue moon. So I have to think of that as well. I did ask what type of moon we have, and I got the words above and size. So again, kind of a stretch, but again, considering the night and what we're actually dealing with, it could be something right there, and we don't know what else you guys may have missed or what you may not just be trained to listen to.
Yeah.
So again, I will give you the exact markers of where I hear things on that as well. I'll give you like 5 to 10 examples, whether they're relatable or not. It'll just be hey, here's how you listen to this. It could be, say, listen to Y105, but nobody from 1700 is saying listen to Y105, but it came out loud and clear. All right, folks, we're gonna walk about 4 blocks from here. Okay, so it's about a 5 to 8 minute walk. It's definitely a mask up area. Go slow. Your EMF will go off because of the parking meters. Don't pay any attention to it. We're gonna walk on East Bay Street, which is a no laser zone. Some places probably will still be dining outside, so it's definitely masked up.
I know, you look like you got a gun.
I know, I shouldn't hold that.
Yeah, don't be tempted. Just put it away. Keep filming for us, by all means. Just keep up with the group. You don't need to go slow during this part of the walk, but we want to continue the film so I don't have to keep splicing.
Okay.
I did restart their video over in the Red Barn lot just because she flipped it. So in YouTube, you guys would be doing this. We don't want to be doing that. It's no fun. So I just restarted it, and if I'll take a look at the first video. If there's nothing there, I'll probably just omit it because it's really just me talking about the devices. Okay, so, but yeah, let's take a walk and.
Should I turn this up again?
Yeah, if you're listening to your spirit boxes along the way, sorry about that. Good question. Listen for names. I'll explain when we get to the location. If anybody gets a little too far behind, which doesn't happen from time to time, we're going, as soon as you see the Magnolias restaurant, make a right down the cobblestone alley. So I'm going to go as slow as I can, but I always try to stay a few steps ahead because I smoke along the way. So if that bothers anybody, please let me know, and I'll be sure to blow my smoke elsewhere. Fair enough?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to head out this way. Everybody watch your step over here. It's 1 step up, then 3 down.
Y'all go ahead.
You gonna be okay in them shoes? I was worried about those when I met you guys the first time.
No, I'm a woman. I can handle this.
So my wife is disabled and she wears braces to walk. So I don't worry about stuff like that because she can't wear them. So she's in Converse everywhere. So I don't worry about any of that stuff. We go out to eat to a nice restaurant, she's got Converse on underneath.
I was like, I've done some treks in big old high heels before, so I'm good. I was gonna say I got long legs. I'll be.
Yeah, I'm manager for Walmart for over 10 years.
You gotta be walking everywhere.
My wife
Zoom, zoom.
she's like, you don't work at Walmart anymore.
I don't get that, dude. Doesn't make sense to me.
Stop here, so we're all caught up. We all good back there?
We're good.
All right. Make sure nobody's turning down here. We got a walk signal.
Closed up as well.
Yeah. So this here is closed up. The IHOP next door closed up.
Wow.
I mean, it must be really struggling.
Yeah,
IHOP closes
IHOP
up.
closed, wow.
Good drunk food.
Yeah. Actually, Sticky Fingers are all closed now too. So that was kind of depressing. And I don't eat out. But when I do, I won't barbecue.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all right. No more Sticky Fingers.
Oh, yeah, okay. Wow, look at that.
So my goal for Stories in a Cemetery is to actually have a shop.
Yeah.
So it'll be half paranormal books and half ghost hunting equipment, haunted hotel upstairs. My wife will do the pictures for you guys through a ride kind of stuff. So we're eyeballing a lot of this because it's going to start dropping.
Yeah, absolutely.
So granted, we don't want to do it right away. That's a great picture, by the way, if anybody wants it.
Oh, wow.
Did you guys notice how cool the picture is with the custom house? Part of our group.
I don't know. Stop that. Get a good picture. I was gonna say it ain't gonna look nearly as cool as it does. That is really crazy looking.
Doesn't do it justice, but
No, I
it's
know.
still a pretty good picture.
Yeah, it's the front.
Oh, that is 20 to 0. Get anything?
I wouldn't know if I got
Look
some.
at the customs house. Like, look, you got people in the
Yeah, I did.
storeroom. See any of that? More vacant space. Pretty cool.
Really mad about that other couple that had the mold. It happens to me. I don't think they would have. I can just tell like they were being really quiet. I can usually kind of pick up on that stuff.
It's a nice little place.
Here's my picture taker. The camera for us. my camera.
Oh, the digital one?
Yeah.
Oh, I forget which dead one.
All right, who's got the camera back there?
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have a
That's okay.
camera. I was just listening to birds chirping.
Okay.
There was something different that we heard about there.
Okay. Very cool. Sorry I wasn't around to record it for you. We're about to walk down this alley, and I like to get at least 2 pictures before we walk down, nice and empty, because I do capture a lot of things down here. So let's get you in front.
Do you want me to turn this off? You need the lasers as well?
Not yet.
Oh, the violin makes it perfect.
I know.
This is definitely cobblestone, so hang on the arm.
Oh yeah, big cobblestone.
Yeah.
So I live in my house is built and so I live in the bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah, we take pictures of Christmas, whatever. I've got something that was came here, like the night before I came here.
I feel like you're gonna look at me like I got a gun.
How far?
Do some stuff.
Wow.
And I asked my husband, I said,
67,
why did you put a
66 on the wall.
And he goes, I don't even know what that is. Where did that come from? And I was like, well, it's on the shelf. It's not my first house.
Apparently he doesn't read.
Yeah, right.
I didn't mean that horribly. But
No, you are correct. Hey! On the spot. So, he had no idea. But that's not the first time. Children are
Creepy places.
You got red, that is. Is
you
it
got an
that?
electrical
Okay.
box right there.
Oh, okay. I don't know what makes it work. And plus, you're looking down at it.
Alright, I'm going to put you guys on that wall now. Let's kind of tell you what's going on here. Let's turn those spirit boxes down a little bit so I'm not screaming. They do consider this a quiet area. Not many tours actually come down here. Did you find the button?
To the right.
Okay.
Oh, see, I'm cold.
Yeah, you got to keep tapping
Sorry.
it.
Okay, got it.
Alright, so this is Lodge Alley, everybody. This is one of the oldest streets in Charleston. So when I say street, that means people used to live here. So these buildings that we're leaning on, they weren't here. They had shotgun houses here. Shoot a bullet through the front, goes out the back. So I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived down here. It's not a census list, but it is their name, their occupation, and the year that they lived here. You guys didn't have your spirit box on, did you? Okay, I didn't know.
Well, we gotta turn it down.
I know we were chatting a little bit, so. But the names that normally show up for me are Benjamin and John. So even though that is up to orange right now, that to me is still a rhythm. It's on. So again, that's probably coming from the hotel behind you. Just wanted to debunk it for you.
This is the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's people in that room, and they're hearing me talk right now. They're getting a free tour. So, on
Well, that's
Halloween.
not fair.
So, the cobblestones that you guys are just walking on, these are clay bricks. Notice that none of them are the same shape or size. These are handmade, hand laid. So they're not even spaced the same way. They did do an archaeological dig here. I want you guys to keep in mind, Charleston, the peninsula, was much skinnier. So those buildings we see across the street from here weren't there. So the smell of low tide blowing right through here, right nasty, gross. So with that being said, they did the archaeological dig. They found some of their tools, a little bit of their silverware, some of their clothing. They really consider these people low class. I have the full report of the dig. There's a lot of stuff in there. But again, very interesting place. If a name actually pops up, look at the word paint again. Does anybody here work with paint? It just seems odd for that word to come up twice.
All over.
I was gonna say that's on your face. That's what I was gonna say.
A lot of her.
Interesting. Well, I thought when it came up the first time, it's because we were asking about what color the barn was, red paint. But that's a paint on your face. That makes sense. Good call. I like it. Like how you guys think. See, I'm training you well. So, got the word hole. I've never seen that one before.
Whole face.
Yeah, but it's H. Of course, maybe it could have misinterpreted it. Possibly. I'll take it.
Sewer.
Yeah. This is also where the Masons used to meet. So before it was residents, the Masons used to come down here on hot sticky nights, suspenders, the whole nine, and they'd talk business. Middle of the night. So, very interesting
You said
place.
Mason, the orange light. You said Mason and the orange
Masons
like
used to come.
Masons.
Masons used to come down here. See, it's too steady for me. That's got to be from the hotel.
You mean Masons like bricklayers or
Yes.
Masons like the Freemasons?
Both.
Oh, okay.
So we had both here. So this would have been a meeting place for pretty much anybody that wanted to use it because it was open. again, these buildings weren't here. This was just a street to get down to where the provost was and that kind of thing. Customs house, just passing through. So again, open space. So the bricks were here, and this is where they stopped. They just needed something for the horse and buggies to be able to go by. So Freemasons and bricklayers would have been down here. We had a lot of weird bricklayers, which a lot of that was slave trade too. So especially during the time period for these were slave made. These aren't bricklayer made. Bricklayers would have been a lot smoother and a lot. They weren't made out of clay for sure. So in the next place, you'll actually see what those bricklayers would have done. It's a lot different. So we do get some cars down there again. We're not supposed to park in here. Jerks. We're getting on our way. But anyway, we're actually going to take some more pictures on our way out. So who had the camera again? Becky? So on our way out, you're going to be the last one. Just kind of take some pictures going the opposite way. I get the same green orb down here constantly. Different places. I have video of it moving. Weird. Colored orbs mean things. So they all have different meanings. Green is usually something peace from Earth, so it doesn't mean anything malevolent. What's that? Did I miss something? You were doing a little dance? I see the...
No, you're just saying that my house. Just
She has orbs all over her house.
Send me pictures. We'll
I
analyze.
will.
Oh, she does. Oh, she totally has them.
I send things to my wife. My wife's like, "Who's this from?" I'm like, "That was from August. You're a little late." So,
Yeah.
But at any rate, I do get some shadow figures in here, so we'll see what comes up out of yours. Like, it's just we get lots of weird stuff. So definitely listen to your spirit boxes. When we exit the alley, we're gonna be in a neighborhood. No lasers.
The light.
People are winding down from whatever Halloween festivities they were doing, so we don't want to disturb them. But definitely get us. You're gonna have to probably stop at that car and take pictures this way because I don't want to get the vehicle in your way. So let's go ahead and stroll through. Let's listen to that spirit box and see what we come up with. Yeah, flashlights. Bring out the flashlights. Prepare.
You said they got, what did you say his name's Ben?
Benjamin and John.
Be careful in all this.
I am.
Those were 2 out of the 4, so we have to take them up together. It is trying to see what's the bigger space, left or right, left.
Cool. It's like, what's this? Oh, it's Kim going flying. That's what that is.
We're actually going to go down here quick, wrap up with the pictures. Anything weird coming up on that camera in here that you can see?
Not that I can see,
Okay.
but I could be totally reading all of this wrong. So
I have had little like tendrils of coldness come up in here before out of an air conditioner. So the door that we passed over there, it's got a high bottom to it, a high threshold. So the air conditioning will pour out in the summertime. And you can see where it comes out.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it'll go straight up in a little tendril, like a little finger coming up out of it and disappear. It's the weirdest thing. So
Nick, I have a question. Do you feel like, just your opinion, the couple both felt bad that left, or they got bad vibes?
now, looking at the young lady, I could tell like she probably knew more than what I was explaining, because I try to keep things in pretty layman terms. I have to assume.
Okay.
So she knew a lot.
Okay.
So she may have gotten something,
See, that's just what my thinking was.
but it
I
could
thought
be.
they were high. I'll be honest.
They're getting this audio back. No accusations.
What Masons met on this road.
Well, I said it earlier too, so they're gonna hear it twice.
I might actually have to accidentally forget to send it.
Oh, y'all won't hear me talking the whole time, so.
Can you just have the other one of these things? Yeah. Well, I was trying to say there, I heard
So, very good point. Oh, that's a great shot, too.
Yeah, that's great.
Is it all right if
I'll throw you right back. I told you I'm next trip before, guys.
Coming through the alley after you guys walked out, I thought I heard berry, like, I got the sense of like a strawberry berry, like
Okay.
berries, or nine, number 9.
Number 9.
So it could either be a radio station or one of them.
Well, it was probably a radio station,
Yeah,
but it's okay.
yeah, so
They're not having nearly as much fun as you guys. I promise you. This is a very popular ghost stop. Okay, so we're going to be in a popular area. I tell the story out here so that they don't interrupt me. They make this a big dramatic thing. We have the dramatics coming out of our electronics. But they made a very good point. I didn't give you guys the answers from the Pinkley Mansion site. So the house, when I said it blew up, the house caught fire on the 2nd story floor up in the top left-hand corner where I was standing. So when the Spirit Box team doesn't go there, that's where I go because it's a great hot spot. Eliza Lucas Pinckney was the one who planted all the indigo. Eliza Lamb Pinckney was the first wife. So Lamb and Lucas were the names we were looking for there. The daughter's name was Harriet. Eliza died at the age of 70 from breast cancer in Philadelphia, which is also where she's buried. So take that for what it's worth. Who was the president? Anybody want to take a guess? Who the pallbearer was at her funeral? She died in the 1790s. George Washington.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yes. And he actually used to frequent Charleston quite a bit. So,
that was one of the questions I asked.
so
Was he familiar with the family, or?
he would have been very familiar with the husband
Okay.
because the husband and then the son were both governors of South Carolina. And the son 4 times consecutive, which has never been done.
Oh.
Yeah, 4 terms. So, big deal. All right, so let me tell you the story that goes on in here. This place now is called Philadelphia Alley. Ironic that that's where Eliza's married. I know. But we named it after a city that helped us with one of our many, many fires that have occurred here. There's dozens. So, do I know all the years? I do not. But it used to be called Dueller's Alley, as in take 20 paces, turn and shoot kind of duels. So we all tell the same story. So again, I'm going to give you the skinny for your devices only. So that way you guys will know what you're listening for, what you're watching for, those kind of things. There was a doctor that moved down here from Rhode Island. Keep those initials in mind, R.I. from Rhode Island, because it comes up again later. He was supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The attorney handling that money said, "You two aren't getting married. Send the doctor away. I think he's just after your money." The doctor moved to Charleston. The coachman that brings him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start. Somebody walking by named Ralph Isaacs, an attorney in town with the initials R.I., sees what's happening and he stops it and he says, "Let me take you to somewhere safe." He takes him to 59 Church Street, which is about 1.5 miles from here. Okay, it's the same place where that big steeple is if you guys can see it through these trees. So, at any rate, the two become friends. But the doctor's practice, it starts to take off. He's making lots of money, he's doing well, which means Amanda's going to be moving down soon, the love of his life. And he wrote a book, poetry, about his time here in Charleston and about his wife, or his soon-to-be wife. I haven't read it yet. I have one on order. Cost me $45, but gotta have my research. But anyway, so the two become friends, and the doctor's in a different part of society at this point. So when they go see plays, the doctor gets better seats. Just the way it happens. So it's like going to see the movies and you can't sit next to your friends because they make more money than you and they got better seats. It sucks. Kick them in the shins later. So they used to talk about the plays on the way home. They go see Richard III one night. I don't know which theater because there were tons of them in town. But they're talking about the actress that was in town. The doctor loves her, Ralph does not. They argue. Then it turns into an insult party on the doctor's fiancé. Obviously they get very pissed at each other and they go their separate ways. Now, I told you Ralph was from here. So he writes to the newspaper and he wants to put an ad in. He puts an ad in the paper about what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. What an ass. Sorry, I don't think I've ever swore this much on tour. You guys are really cool. But it's just kind of like a really jerk move. But there's breakfast again. Breakfast. Liza's following me around. I'm telling you. She wants to feed us.
Berries.
Is it
And we got
breakfast
the
time in
berries
London?
too, yeah.
Is it breakfast time in London?
Don't know.
It's a 6 hour time difference, so it would be about 2 a.m.
So yeah.
So
So no.
good connection you guys are making. I'm digging this. So anyway, the doctor rebels against the newspaper ad and he says, let's go down to Dueller's Alley and let's settle this. Now, when you guys all think of duels, us 2020 Americans, what do you normally think of? What happens?
My children.
Okay, what happens at a duel?
Pistols. Pistols, yes. Old West.
What's the actual activity?
Shooting.
Shooting.
Death.
Death.
Yeah.
That's what we think of. You're all wrong. Okay. We all think somebody's going to die. It's not always the case. A lot of times it was about courage and bravery. A lot of shots were fired into the ground just to prove you're willing to take a bullet for what you believe in. Okay? So let me tell you what happened here. Oh, first off, let me point out, to the right of the gate we're going to go through, there's a wall over there, and there's a doorway. So when there was a shooting, somebody died, they picked up the loser, sorry loser, and they carry him through that doorway, up the courtyard, and over to the cemetery at St. Philip's, drop the body in a pre-dug grave, toss some dirt, go celebrate the winner. That's how the shit went down.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't happen often, but that's how it went down. So here's what happened. The doctor and Ralph come down here, they take the 20 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air, out of act of bravery, and willing to forgive his friend, and shoots. He didn't want to kill him. Ralph takes a shot below the knee on the doctor. I'm not trying to knock you down, you're just in front of him. So the doctor drops. He's obviously not dead. His friends pick him up, carry him over to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later. What's the moral of the story? Don't get married to Amanda. Okay. When you walk through here, they say you can hear the whistles of the doctor.
The
I know,
whistles?
right? The whistles from the doctor. Now, he was known as the whistling doctor when his practice was on the up and rise. Sorry, I actually omitted that part. So, he became known as the whistling doctor around town. There's the whistling doctor. Amanda's coming into town soon. The doctor's doing well. So, they say you can hear the whistles. I have two that I can't debunk. We get a lot of heckles. There's your fake one for your audio. Again, notice how we use different pieces in different places. So you're going to turn your audio up when we're about to walk through here. I will stay away from the spirit boxes. Also, when we're going through, keep those spirit boxes away from, like if we're cutting through another group like this one, you're going to keep it off as much as they don't like me. I don't want to piss them off further on our big night of Halloween. So this is our Christmas right now. So
they shot him in the knee, and he wasn't dying. They took him over there like he was dead anyway, and let him bleed out.
He went to the hospital and died 10 days later.
Oh,
no, they took him home.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said hospital. Gotcha. Okay.
Took him home.
I was like, they
Yeah,
put
take
him
him
over
up.
there.
He's a doctor. He should have been able to mend himself. But
Yeah,
right.
Now, some of the stories will actually say that he took 2 shots below the knees. But if you think about it, during that time period, you can't load a pistol that quickly. You can't take 2 shots like we can take. Yes. So I stopped telling that person. What's that? Right. So again, they wouldn't have been able to load it that quickly. Somebody pointed that out on my tour, and I did a little bit of research. He was absolutely correct. They used to say he took 2 shots below the knees and dropped, then they carried him home, and he died 10 days later. But it's impossible to do that. So I changed the story up to get it to 1 shot. So the other piece of history that comes out of here, we're going to walk through this place, and again, we're going to be walking on bricks. It's a really beautiful alley, so we can get pictures. By the way, take as many as you can without the tours in the way. Okay. But these bricks up here were refreshed and renewed in the 1990s. They kind of took them out, smoothed them up, sharpened up the edges. Down here, we still have sun-dried bricks from slave kids. We still have their fingerprints in them, and we have a full handprint. Now, the handprint is outside somebody's home. It's their address on Philadelphia Alley. We are going to keep moving. We're not going to stop. If you want pictures, it has to be quick. Have your cameras ready. It's definitely a no spirit box at the very end, and definitely no lasers at the very end because of the homes. You don't want to disrupt the grumpy guy that lives there. He's very grumpy. So the handprint, let's talk about that for a second. The thumb overlaps into the next brick. What does that mean? The kid put the brick in wet and then slammed his hand into it. And it's deep. It's not just the surface, oh, it looks like a hand. It's a hand. You can't miss it. And once you start seeing those fingerprints and that hand swipe, you're going to be looking for them all over Charleston. They're here, Drayton Hall, and I can't remember the third one. But this one is probably the most prominent. But I'll point out the fingerprints, and it's literally, we don't want to hover around it. It's here's a fingerprint, there's a fingerprint, and you guys will start seeing them on your own. So, but let's go enjoy this alley. It's gorgeous. It's some steps going down, so let's be careful. But we're going to kind of pass through this group with our masks up. All the way down. I just want to make sure we get everybody through first.
up there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the whole group out so I can appreciate you. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
I know, right? Best time of year. Yeah, there's too many people, so we might not get pictures. I try to time it so I get it myself, just my group, so they can enjoy it. Yeah. Excuse us, everybody. Sorry.
That's right, bud. Take your time, man.
Happy Halloween. How are you?
Same on you.
We'll wait for them to come through. Oh, they also say you can hear gunshots. I just debunked it. So, again, I listen to whistles and gunshots. I caught whistles and gunshots. Like those little dudes that fall, they went right on the garbage cans. On the audio, it sounds really loud. Yeah.
This is a cool tree.
So you guys are going to start to see fingerprints like these, all the way down.
Oh,
And
is
then
that
I'll
what
point out
that
the
is?
handprint.
Wow.
So there's fingerprints here. And then there's gonna be a handprint.
I didn't know that's what that was. There's some there.
They're all
And it's
over.
all over. Huh.
They're doing really well in their shoes. I'm impressed. There's a lot of fingerprint swipes. These are pretty prominent ones. You can't miss those. Then the handprint is right there.
Oh yeah.
Kind of
So, would they start the door, but it was the whole alley?
Well, they would do it in the middle, but there'd be crowds on the sides watching. It's a sport.
In this space?
Yeah.
Dang. Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
You gotta walk on the street because the sidewalk's closed. It's a little smoother anyway. I normally tell the last story on that corner, but they've actually been working pretty late in the arts and materials. I've been trying not to disturb them.
Forever. So many of them all over the world.
See what you guys' group look like?
Right.
Those people in the back here, anything that woman is saying? It's not fair to you guys at all. I know I'm more expensive than they are, but there's a reason. Quality over quantity, right?
I believe it.
Gotta stop this. Alright, let's get everybody over here. Not disturbing anybody over here. I normally tell the last story over on that corner, but that art studio has been working late, so I've been kind of skipping it to over here. We're actually going to talk about this building we're leaning on right now. This is the Wagner building. So it's our last stop, and this is about 2 blocks away from Lodge Alley, where we came up the cobblestones, just so you guys know where you're all at. And then the water park, the Pineapple Park, is right across the street from the front. So You guys can follow me back. I have to clean the equipment, by all means, if you need to. But we'll be walking straight down East Bay Street, back to where we started. It's about 5-6 blocks away. So, I didn't know if you guys wanted to like grab a car once we get to the front for Jean, or however you guys traveled.
You want to sit down like this?
Here's a little stoop.
Yeah.
You can sit down. We're gonna be here about 5 minutes. So, the Wagner building. This used to be a cotton warehouse. So, the back of it right now is condos, and the front of it is, they're turning it into a wedding reception area. So, I know, right? But the front of it used to be the offices for the cotton warehouse, and obviously the warehouse was in the back. So anyway, the last guy who added as a cotton warehouse, his name was George Poirier. Now, George, he inherited the business from his dad, clueless. Silver spoon kid, no idea what he was doing. And he got himself into a bunch of debt really, really quick, and then blew through his inheritance. So he's screwed. We also had the boll weevil in town. The boll weevil is a bug that eats cotton. Now he needs to get rid of his crops. So now his crop is bad. So he can't sell his crops back to the Americans because he doesn't want the bug to stay here. So he sells it to the British. So again, Charleston's much skinnier. He watches the British ship roll in. They unload all the cotton by horse and buggy through these really cool garage doors that you guys see out to the ship, and he watches the whole thing from the second story. Now, as he's loading everything up, everything gets on there. He's watching from the second story window. Somebody gets too close to that cotton with a pipe. The whole ship catches fire, and everybody dies. So George is already depressed because his dad's gone. Now his father's legacy is gone. So what's he do? He piles up all the furniture, captain's chair on the top, climbs the mountain of furniture, swings a noose, and hangs himself. Now instead, you can see the shadow of a swinging corpse from the window that he hung himself. Here's what I'm going to tell you about our thermal imaging camera. It cannot see through windows. We're looking for those blue panels, blue panes, to turn a darker blue or black, which means something is influencing it from the inside. So it's on the rounded edge when we get to the very front. This is the back. So it's going to be on the rounded edge going into the front, and then the first two windows. So you're going to get us some film there, and Becky, you're going to get us some pictures.
Okay.
This is definitely going to be a no laser zone again, so sorry with the lasers. I know they're kind of spread out right now. Your EMF's going to go crazy at the front because of the parking meters.
Okay.
So kind of keep that in mind too.
Got it.
Spirit boxes, we definitely want to listen in, see what comes up. So you're listening for like fire, ship, cotton, anything related to money. Monetary currency terms come up all the time. I get another ghost that likes to follow me from the same time period. 2 blocks up from where we came out of the alley is a place called Poogan's Porch. Okay, you've probably already eaten there if you're just coming through as a tourist. Poogan's Porch is named after a dog. We're not getting a dog to come through. Okay, it's Zoe. Zoe, that used to be her house. She is of French descent, so Zoe Saint Amand is her name. She lived there with her sister. Zoe, her sister's name was Elizabeth, so I'm giving you clues of things you could be hearing. Now, this is business. Now, Zoe was a school teacher. She died in the house by falling down the stairs. They say you can see her in the ladies' restroom mirror, so we do get terms like mirror, stairs, food, eat. You're not going to get restaurant. That's a lot to muster up. Now, your spirit box is a lot slower. It might come through, but I would expect those simpler terms. So I don't want to give you too much suggestive thought, because then you would just be listening for Zoe, food, those kind of things. But again,
They didn't call them restaurants back then.
well, she wouldn't even have known because they changed her house after she died.
Oh,
She just knows what it looks like now.
okay.
So
Okay.
if you ask Zoe, now the other night, I will tell you that the house is yellow with white columns. I asked what her house looks like now, expecting food, eat, fork, those kind of things, but I got yellow, came through the reverse spirit box, and then the word white showed up. So it's yellow with white columns. What does the house look like? It's painted yellow. So very interesting stuff. Again, got to put these clues together. That's the job. So we're going to listen in to see what you guys can hear. You can turn it up a little bit because we're going to have some traffic. We're not going to be disturbing the people in the condos. Their windows are shut, I'm sure. They're out partying. But we definitely want to see what we get on the thermal imaging, and then we'll wrap this party up. We're just going to grab some video, some film, or some pictures. I'll get you guys my card, and we'll start heading back.
Absolutely.
Questions, comments, concerns? Different than what you guys thought you were getting yourselves into?
It was different than the other ones. I mean, yeah, different.
I know I'm different than everybody
Right.
else. Some people sign up and they have no clue that I'm putting them to work. So I want you guys to also know, I told some of you I'm getting my PhD program next year. Hopefully I'm admitted. But all of the data you guys are collecting is proving that I'm in my field. Because I will be studying the paranormal and be a doctor of ghosts when I'm done.
Nice.
So that's, you guys are actually working. No, you're not getting credit. So you're all interns. But hopefully they
Well, thank you
accept
for
it.
keeping the group small.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no problem. Honestly, I prefer it that way. And I'll be honest with you, like the smaller groups that come in, like it's much more intimate. So my next group I have 10, and sometimes it could be a struggle even with 10. So it's just kind of how it works. So it's about 5 or 6 blocks.
Okay. Where is Meeting Street?
From here,
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That way.
where did you guys stay? Where are you staying?
Yeah, we're Meeting Street. We'll get it.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. So yeah, the easiest way to get to Meeting Street from here is you'll just come right back up this way, and you're going to go probably 3 or 4 blocks.
So does that buzz when you get a word that comes on?
No, I have to keep watching it, and then a lot of times you'll see me flip back to the list to see if anything else that I missed.
Okay.
But you're going to have the full list anyway, because sometimes something is relatable to you guys, and you text me the next morning, hey, my cat's name is Radar, and it says Cat Radar. You know, things like that. I don't know stuff like that about you, so that's why I give you the full list.
Okay.
So
We were talking about just after the yellow house. Would you ask her the yellow, white?
right.
Shortly after you said that, a different something sounded like it cut out, then a word, then something. So I don't know what that was because I wasn't really paying attention.
Okay.
So if
And
that,
that's-
I don't know if that comes up anywhere.
No, it doesn't,
Oh,
because
okay,
not
gotcha.
all these spirit boxes are connected.
I gotcha.
So
okay.
it's just different ways for these spirits to
Gotcha.
communicate with us.
I just wasn't paying attention.
So-
All right.
But good question. And again, at the top of your data page, you guys all asked about my podcast. It's at the top, and the tools and the apps that I use. There's free versions of all of these. So I'm using the paid versions, obviously, for the tours. But it just ups the vocabulary from 3,000 to 9,000. So, but there's free versions of all of them.
Cool.
So, but yeah, a lot of fun. I keep you guys informed.
I was gonna say I'll have to get that at my house.
I know.
So where am I looking for the windows?
Yeah, where are the windows? This is the back. You said?
At the end? Okay. Are the windows up here that I'm getting?
So it's going to be at the very front.
At the very front, okay.
There's like a curved edge. It's not
Okay,
a hard
okay,
corner.
okay.
It's a curved edge. So even if like you want to go across the street to try to get that second story window, you can. Because it's kind of hard. There's a little awning in front. It can get in your way. But then you're going to try to get this 2 windows that wrap around the front.
Okay.
We're actually going to do a little experiment with your gun when
Okay.
we get to the front too.
Cool.
So this building at times will be weird temperatures.
Yeah.
And I like to test them. So I'll kind of show you what I mean when we get in front. They get the word manor, as in like a house. If the house wasn't big enough to be a manor, I would say it's probably 14 or 15 square feet. Maybe much bigger than that.
Manor to somebody.
Yeah, could have been. Alright, so the second story above here, and then the 2 windows that wrap around the front. Zach?
Yep.
Yes, I'm getting it. Come with me, sir. Bring it. So, as you see this stone at the very top at the crest,
Yeah.
shoot that, and then I want you to give me a temperature, and then get the half moon shade down below it. Keep going up, up.
Yeah, but you know, it can't be more than what
66.
Okay, and go to the one at the very crest.
There.
Yep.
63.
Keep going.
Am I supposed to be getting blue?
63.
Okay, so normally, this is not so much of a windy night. I was expecting like a good 15, 18 degree difference, but at times it'll go all the way up to 30 degrees.
Oh, wow.
So if it's a 30-degree difference between the two, I can
Yeah.
listen to the spirit box a little bit closer in the morning, that kind of thing. So it's kind of my barometer, kind of like the light back at the came in.
Yeah, they're all real close.
Yeah, which is odd because it is freezing. And I do expect the breeze to come in over the water.
I don't know what color the windows are supposed to be.
It should hit the very top and make it a good 7 to 12 on a non-windy night. In fact,
I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna go across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that means the very top is 60.
47.
That's 63.
Yeah, so I'll take that one as worth.
What color are the windows supposed to be?
They're supposed to be blue
Okay.
because they're going to be cooler than the building. That's the only reason why. Now, what you're looking for is anything to turn a different color that's not in unison with other things, which is okay. I just want you to be the camera person. If you don't see it tonight, not a big deal.
Okay.
So
So I can go across the street and try to get this too?
you can. I'm
Okay.
going to start collecting the other devices that are irrelevant at this point, like the EMF meter and the lasers.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna go across the street then.
Okay. To be Christ.
Gonna be going to.
Well, wait, I can't. Turn them out.
And I asked my husband, I said, why did you move that book? And he goes, I don't know where that even came from. Yeah, he doesn't. I'm like, well, you walk by it every day. He's probably never
Still recording?
seen that.
Yeah.
Awesome job.
Yeah. So